So this song is in the key of G, and I'm going to briefly go over the actual like the chord progression, and I'm going to use the number system to actually like describe it. And yeah, so I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to, maybe do this little bass line, so uh, so I don't know. I might record that and kind of play along with it. So, all right. So the key of G, here's the G on this third fret right here of your low E string. And the very first chord is actually, I mean, you could use a major chord, but it's a major seventh chord. But I'll talk about chords a little bit later in this talk or whatever. So I'm gonna just kind of number. I'm gonna talk the number system. So I always go over the scale first, the major scale, and then I go from there. I typically do. So G major. We're going to count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. I'm going to count it kind of like laterally, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or different ways to do it. As long as the intervals are the same, it really doesn't matter. So, having all that stuff in mind, we're going to start with the 1. So I'm going to slowly go through the number progression, and I'm only going to use the root scale only, all right? So I'm going to play the chord progression, but then I'm going to go back over the root. So here is the chord progression. I might want to turn that down. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna play the main chord progression, and then I'll start talking about it. I'm gonna see if I remember it. Here we go. All right. That's the main verse of the song. I mean, the main verse chord progression of the song. Now let's talk about the actual root of those chords, the roots of those chords. Here are the roots. Here's the 1. 1, 1, 7, 3, 6, 6, 2, 6, 6, 5, 1, 4, then 3, 6, 2, 5. So that's the root. Those are all the roots, okay? So that can help you to like navigate at least where the root is. Then we can talk about what the extension of that root is. So again, 1, 1, 7, 3, 6, 6, 5, 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, 5. So on the 1, that's a major 7th. And for those of you who are on YouTube, I'm going to show you how I have my hand positioned real quick. Let me show you. Okay. So here's a G major. So it's a regular G. That's in my my 3rd fret on the B and E string. But I'm pretty much barring that, okay? So There's the G. I'm showing you the G major. If a major seventh is a little interesting for you, well, here's a G major at least. All right. The way and the reason that you play a G major seventh the way that you play it is because you're adding that seventh in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you're adding that note in there. So it's not just you're putting that in there too. So all right. So instead of that major, that D major over F sharp, so you're not going you're actually going to play a minor chord over that 7, which is actually kind of rare. You don't typically hear that. You might hear that in like salsa music or whatever, but R&B music you don't typically hear that. So 1, that's a major 7th, that's a G major 7th. Then F sharp minor or minor 7th. I'm barring that at the 2nd fret. Then the 3 is actually a B dominant 7. Then a C major 7. Well, from the 3 is a B dominant 7. Then you're going to go to the 6, which is actually an E minor 7. So I'm barring at the 7th fret right now. Then go to the 5, which is a D11. You're literally barring the whole thing, but you're mainly playing the middle 4 strings. Technically, you're not supposed to play the high E string, so I have my index finger kind of muting that. Then you're going to play a G13. Now, the way you play that, now you could bar it and then, but you're not really supposed to play that A string right there. So that's why I kind of got to skip. So it's a G on the 3rd fret, E string, and then my middle finger, 3rd fret, D string, ring finger, G string, 4th fret, pinky, 5th fret on the B string. Then the C major 7th, play from the 3rd fret. Then you're going to play a G major over B. The way it looks is this. So it's like you're playing a G major, but the upper half. But instead of playing the full G, you're actually going to play like your pinky, ring finger, and middle finger on those that major triad. And that index finger is going to be on the B. So it's like, so 4, 3, 6, 2, 5. All right. So that's pretty much how you play that. All right. So let me come here. And YouTube, if y'all got any questions, just drop in. I normally have to say something for y'all to chime in. That's all right. Let me see if I can get this right. All wrong. I can at least get that much right. Mistake again. should have did it that way. Let me change that last part. You know what? I'm not changing it. I'm not gonna change it. Ooh. All right. So I'm keeping that for a reference. All right. So that's the main verse. All right. So now there's like a part that happens at, it's not quite a bridge, but it's like a pre-chorus or something like that. So let me play this joint. Yeah, so on that pre-chorus, it's like the second time around or something like that. And this comes before the bridge, so it's not the same as the bridge. But anyway, so you start out with the verse as normal. So to 6. Then it's actually like a flat 5. Da, 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 da. Then it goes to the bridge. Now it is going like flat 7, then 1, then 4. So it is a F major, G major, C major 7th. So again, you start the bridge off the top. Man, y'all stay requesting for songs and don't say nothing about the artist's name. Y'all be tripping me out when y'all do that. Y'all trip me out with that. So F, G, C major 7th. Now you're gonna walk down from the 4, 3, 2. So 4, 3, 2 is the C major 7th, and then the G major over B. This time the 3 is a B7. So then 6, 6, 5, flat 5. I just can't find a way. I just can't find a way. So let's do that again. So that's full joint, full joint. So yeah, hope it made sense. Hope it made sense. That was the full song in context. And I'll take that part out of the replay, so I don't get no copyright strikes and everything. We can't get that. But yeah, I mean that was pretty much the whole thing. I know it's Friday, so on Fridays I typically get peep-ins. I'm not getting a lot of Hey, I appreciate the shout out. Thank you from North Carolina. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And then there was a song request, "Let Her Cry." I don't know who that's by. You just said "Let Her Cry." Maybe it's by. Is it by Tamia? Maybe it is by her. Or Let Her Cry. Any questions on YouTube? Yeah, that was it on TikTok. So, any questions? Any questions? No, this is. Oh, some of y'all didn't read the title. It's "Officially Missing You" by Tamia. That's what it is. This question is from, I think, Rod Thompson. How long did it take me to learn basic chording? That is actually relative. Is relative to whoever puts the work in. But another thing that can accelerate your learning and actually like playing chords well is having a very comfortable playing guitar. I'm not saying it has to be 100% like just 100% comfortable, but it has to be enough to where you actually get the chords out. And you got to be able to get the chords out. And if the strings are too high, it'll just be a little challenging. Now it's good in a sense because if you can fight past that, it could be easier for you on other guitars, on easier playing guitars. But a lot of times it's very discouraging for someone who's learning guitar and they don't know how it's supposed to feel. How much practice did I put in originally? I'll be honest with you. A lot of guitar instructors, they push playing like practicing for an hour a day. That, for me, that wasn't the case. So I got this method, like, it goes like this pretty much. I kind of set up a system that makes me practice. Okay. And what I do is something like this. If I'm watching TV and every time a commercial comes on, then I'll pick the guitar up and I'll do a certain exercise. And when the commercial goes off, I'm back at watching what I'm watching. I do the same thing with push-ups. If I'm doing pull-ups, when the commercial comes on, I drop down and do 10. You know what I'm saying? Um, I do that with stuff. I have a marker that tells me practice, and then I'm not thinking about it, and I've put the practice in. That's sort of that's my thing. Or I might put a pull-up bar in my doorway to the bathroom, and every time I go past that pull-up bar, I'll do 5 pull-ups. If I'm gonna go past it, every time I do 5 pull-ups. So I'm not thinking about a practice session. I'm just I'm weaving it and threading it into my everyday stuff. Or you can do something like purchase a guitar and have a guitar stand and just keep it in your room. And every time you see it, just sit down and just strum one chord and just put it back down, but every time you look at it, just pick it up. So it's really about threading it into your everyday life. If you do it that way, I feel like that's more effective than just saying, okay, at 5 o'clock I practice. That's my opinion. Some people are very disciplined. I am in a way, but I'm the kind of person I have to thread things into what I'm doing. That's just how I do it. You know, before I get dressed, drop down and do 50 push-ups. That's just I don't always do I'll do a full session, but I'm just saying it's my way of getting the extra little bit in. Then after I thread those in, then that starts to encourage me to do like 15 minutes a day, of practice. And then it increases from there. And then after that, it's just, whenever I feel like it. So yeah, originally I would thread it into my day some type of way. And I would figure out what could be my marker. Like, you know, if I'm in college and I'm going to class Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., then I might say before I leave at 9:30 or at 9 o'clock, I'm gonna get a little bit of practice in. I practice before I go to class. Perhaps if I didn't go to class, I might not practice, but I link it to something else and I make it like sort of an incentive. That's how I do it. So I hope that answers your question. But I do recommend like 15 minutes a day and then choose one day a week to do like an hour. That's what I recommend. I'm not a sheet music. This is for, is it fish or fresh? How important is it to know how to read sheet music? I don't read sheet music, so maybe that answers your question. I don't read sheet music. I might read charts and maybe tabs, but the thing is, once I know it, I'm not reading it. I memorize it. You appear to be able to play in anyone's band. I played pro football, but my dream has been to play, I guess, to play guitar. Yeah, I mean, I play in a band. It's a church band, but yeah, I do play in a band. I'm not like a tour musician though. That's not really my thing. Keys or guitar on stage with football crowd. Oh yeah, that if I was a tour musician playing in front of a arena would be like so cool. But I don't really want to tour like that. I'm not a touring head like that. But I feel like that would be super duper dope. Super duper dope. Yeah. And piano was my first instrument too. So Is it easy for you to learn any song by ear? A lot of songs. A lot of songs. If it's R&B, I probably can put it on and learn it within 5 minutes. Because like after a while, it all starts to sound not the same, but there's a framework that typically, especially R&B songs, there's sort of a framework that R&B songs operate by. The framework sort of changes if you're playing jazz, but you can figure that out too. Or I'll say the framework expands when you're playing jazz. I'll say that. And if you're playing gospel, it expands. The main frame still works, but it gets a little more elaborate, and the vocabulary is a little more articulate. I'll say that. Is it easy for me to learn play? Okay, yeah, woman. Yay! I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hmm. I'm just noodling now, y'all. I've already talked about the song. Uh, I've already showed the song. So I'm just taking questions and things like that. Your stardom for my music background. Hey, so what you say you play football? What position did you play? And I played a little bit of football. I didn't, it was like PAL, like neighborhood football. Yeah, man. I mean, you put in a little bit of work. I mean, it doesn't have to consume your life, but you know, you put the work in, have a decent teacher. Maybe if you choose me, I'll be able to teach you. Ayla, what's up? How are you? How are you? Thanks for tapping in. Linebacker, that's what's up. Uh, that part, I'll be forgetting that part. I'm about to play that again. Yeah, Ayla, this is officially missing you by Tamia. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very beautiful songs. Uh, it goes on. Uh, so it goes. That's what's up. Outside linebacker. Yeah, yeah. Appreciate you coming through, man. We'll see. Yeah, message me. Hit me up on YouTube. So yeah, appreciate you coming through. And I'm from Florida, so I'm not there now. Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Well, Ayla, this is for you. It is. I was playing based off of the singing melody, kind of playing based on that, but that this song is in G. It's in the key of G. Okay. There's the one. Here's the scale, the major scale. And anytime I do that scale, this scale is all throughout this neck. Okay, so if I were to continue it, it's like it's all over. So, I'm playing, but she wrote that song based on this scale. So it's not like she picked random notes. So I'm gonna play this scale. I'm gonna play it from a different place though. So here's the octave of that G. So that scale is right there. Like so, you're not playing the notes in the same order. You're playing the notes in a different order. So after you know the scale, then you can start to add the feel. You can play by feeling a lot easier once you know the scale. Because if you're just randomly playing, that don't mean nothing. But once you know that scale, and then you develop the technique of being able to play around those scales, you all in it. You know what I'm saying? You all in it. All in it. Shoot, man. You can play, a lot of stuff. You can play a lot of stuff. But pretty much what happens is, you do that, you do the scale, you do the G major, and then you can play the G major, but play starting from the second note. So instead of this, you play from the second note, then from the third note, then from the fourth note. But the thing is, those notes can become more expressive. So instead of just playing, you can. And I'm playing from that fourth note. If I play a G major, if I'm playing from the third note, so it's about starting with that major scale. You start with the major scale and then understand how that can lead to the other notes within the scale. It's pretty much what I showed you before, but think about it like this. I'm always going to find other ways to to describe it, But if you got five notes or five numbers, just think of five numbers right here. So I got five fingers up. One, two, three, four, five. So you can start at the thumb, okay, and count to the pinky, the five, but eventually you come back to the thumb again. But the next degree is starting at the index finger, and then you count it over again, then start back at the thumb, then end at the index. Then you start from the middle finger. You count the rest of the way, start with the thumb, then go back to so you start and end on wherever you start. Okay? You start and end in the same place, then you start that back over. Okay? So that becomes the grouping. So the initial grouping is starting from the thumb to the pinky. The second grouping is starting from the index finger, and maybe that's ending on the thumb, but it always starts on the index finger. Then the next one starts on the middle finger, and then it goes back around and ends on the middle finger. Then ring finger goes back around, back to the, so the first one start with the thumb, come back around, thumb, index finger, come back around, index finger. So, and all of those things have different sounds. Okay. So the G major, yes, Ayla, yes, you can say triads, but I'm literally talking about all seven notes within each scale. Like there's a G major scale, and just like there's the G major, there are seven other scales within the G major scale. Okay? And so the first one, let's say this is G right here. This is G. So it's going to start and end on the G. It's going to start here and end on another G. So now that I can express that a bunch of different ways. Okay, so I'm literally playing the G major scale, but I'm playing it in a different order. Okay, so I don't know if that makes sense. I'm using the same notes within the major scale, and I'm not deviating. Here's the G major scale in order. Okay, here is in a different order. So you can do a lot of different things, and not just play the scale. Now, I'm still going to play the same notes in the G major scale. I'm just going to start somewhere else. I'm not starting on G now. So this is a totally different color, but it's the same notes. So it's no longer this. It's, I could play that somewhere else too. So now that has a set. And if I start on the third one, same thing. Now that, if I played some stuff in that, so that has a different color too. But all of those notes, and you might not see it now, but it's funny. It's funny how those seven notes in the G major scale, you can play it seven different ways, and you can break those down. So it's interesting. So just count. Another example is this. If I were to just use A through G, just using that as an example, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Think of that being like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, now the next scale is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Then the next one is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. And all of them have different colors. So that's like the concept. And the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the G. That's literally all it is. But whatever number you start with, you end with, and you play the notes within that grouping. All of them are different groupings, and you got to see it several times before it actually like clicks. It really is like an easy concept, but you got to see it a couple of times, to be quite honest. So, and Ayla, if you want me to go deeper into it, I can go deeper into it. I can definitely go deeper for sure. If it's not like clicking yet, I can go deeper for sure. Uh, uh, yeah. Man, I got more of y'all on this live, man. None of y'all tapping in. Ayla is the only one tapping in, man. Come on, y'all. Say something to me. Act like you in the group. Y'all must be right. Y'all must be driving in your car and just don't want to type nothing. I think that's what's happening. I think that's what's happening. And TikTok, I appreciate y'all joining. But I'm about to probably get off of TikTok. Y'all playing peekaboo with me, man. So I'll see y'all later, man. I appreciate y'all. I love you. I had to get off TikTok. They weren't really saying that. Yeah. And I know sometimes I have charts and sometimes I don't. And some of the reason is I'm just getting home and I should have maybe prepared before I left, but I'm wanting to stay faithful to the schedule and, just want to show up consistently. But yeah, and I play the scale up here just so you can see it, but just know, I can play it here. Yeah. What's up, Daryl? Is that a Daryl I know? I appreciate you tapping in though, even while driving. I appreciate that. You just type something real quick while you was at a red light. Thank you, man. But yeah, I can play the G scale up here, but I can also play it here. I play it up here just so that it's easier to reference. Okay. Right. Yeah. I usually have to say something before somebody like type something in. But yeah. So yeah, but the G right here, I can play it here. I can play it, I can play it different ways. It's just when you learn that pattern, and again, you got to see it a few times, because at first it's kind of like, what am I looking at? But don't be intimidated by that. I ask that you don't be intimidated by that. Just like make it one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm gonna just keep looking at it. I'm gonna just keep looking at it. And then one day it's gonna be like, oh, got it. And once you get it, you'll never forget it. You will never forget it. And then honestly, it's really a matter of it translating to your fingers. That's another part too. Like getting the technique down enough to where, dang, I'm beating my guitar up. And getting the technique down to where your fingers don't forget, So that's another part of it. So now, my fingers are in a place to where I don't, it's just, and it really, you can't overthink it, you know, because you can play it this way. You can play it, you play it a bunch of different ways. Uh, yeah. Yeah. But see, you got major, see, all of that stuff is in the major. The minor is in the major. The pentatonic is in the major. The modes are in the major. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what if you know the major chord, the major scale, you kind of know everything. I promise you. It's just how it deviates and then comes back where you start and end. Okay. I'll show you an example. I know I'm not using charts, I know, but here is a pentatonic scale in the major joint. Okay? So here's the G major. Uh, it's right here. That was a G major scale. Here's the pentatonic. It's right there. And you can play a pentatonic from 5 different positions, but yeah, that it's about where it starts and ends. It's almost like hopscotch. Like, I try to give different like examples. Yeah, but if I were to use the number system, it's literally 1 to 7. Okay, then well, counting from 1 to 7, but you're starting back at the 1. So it's like 1 to 1, 2 to 2, but you're ending at 7 though. You're starting over at 7 in other words. All right. So you're starting with 1, ending at 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. That's a minor. That's a minor chord. And those same notes are in the major scale. It's almost like magic. It's funny. It's funny. That's literally what it is. Okay. Now, some of these notes in the chord progression, that's in the major key. This is not. Those are not. This is. That is. That is not. That is. So don't worry about that part. That's based on what this song is doing. But but I do feel like I have to do more of an explanation. It's funny because I feel like I have to do like a famous song in order to keep people's attention. And then when I say the major and minor scales and stuff, it's like, I don't even know that, but I want to teach you the song. And hey, I'm doing my best. But yeah, y'all, I won't be on as long this time. I might be on for another like 20 minutes or so. Lately, I've been on quite a bit for like 2 hours. I won't do that this time. But yeah, Ayla, it's literally all those dots you see in different, illustrations. It starts with that major scale. It's I can't like stress that enough. If it's something you're not getting, go back to the major scale, literally. But what happens is the major scale is like stretched out. You have it here, and then now let's stretch it out basically. Let's widen it and let's start playing these different things within the major scale. Another way I think about it is like a house. Think about a house. And then, the house has 5 rooms in it or 7 rooms in it, let's just say. And then you can play in one room, you can play in another room, but it's all inside the same house. And you don't have to leave the house. And sometimes you do leave the house and then come back. That's sort of another way to look at it. So, yeah, that was a stretch. That was a stretch. But yeah, Ayla, the pentatonic and all that stuff is within a major key, a major scale key. Yo, somebody else tap in, man. Yo, it's 9 people on here. Well, really 8. I'm one of the people that's on. So, out of 8 people, only 2 people tapped in? Somebody else got a question somewhere. I would think at least 3 people. Right now, at least two people tapped in. So at least one other person gonna say something. And another thing that's cool is I did this bass line, and it's interesting how you can just do some snaps in the bass line and it actually feel like an official song. Let me see. Yeah, it's cool how you can do just with some snaps and a bass line. There's actually a lot that you can do just with that. Like just a snare, bass line, and you can play a melody and actually recognize a song. I think that's kind of cool. Cool, cool. It seems like it has died down a little bit, but I appreciate those of you who have tapped in. If I have no questions, I'm just going to go kick it. So, if all hearts and minds are clear, I appreciate you coming on and observing. That's cool. Some of y'all taking notes. Some of y'all figuring out what to do with your own channel. I'm pretty sure. And I'm sure some of y'all do guitar tutorials as well. I ain't mad at it. So, but yeah, just to recap, and I know I've said it a few times, just to recap, I'm gonna play this. Yeah, just to recap, this is in the key of G. G as in giraffe, graph, go. Okay, so that's pretty much what the song is referenced by. And like I was telling Ayla, this is the key of G major. Playing the same notes in the G major. And then I'm gonna deviate a little bit. Tamia's voice is just everything. I just love it, especially on that song. Her voice actually informs me very well on guitar, like her type of voice. Like I can just play her voice, you know? That's not in the key. That's not the key of G. Back in the key of G. So yeah, key of G, that's where it's at. I feel like I'm rambling at this point. So if any of y'all have questions, reach out to me. Check out some of the other videos. You got questions, drop a comment. Subscribe if you feel like it. And I'm gonna head on out. All right. If there are no questions and all hearts and minds are clear, I appreciate you. I love you. And I'm gonna check y'all later. All right.